Hail, hail. The Celts are here. I had to get the Zombie Nation intro out for this one, guys. Thanks for joining us live. For all these fist bumps on arrival, I'm losing my voice. We'll get to that in a second. But I'd planned on getting back from the game in decent time to do like the post-match breakdown thing, to try and have it edited and produced and whatnot. And it was a video for today because I know everyone will be buzzing on it right now. We'll still have that coming out tomorrow, but I didn't have the time to do all that. The trains have been an absolute nightmare. Honestly, it took me like 2 hours to get home from Glasgow. An absolute nightmare. So I thought, let's just go live. Let's just go live. We'll do a wee bit of kind of what I do anyway when I'm not on camera in terms of prepping the video a little bit or whatever. Tactically, how the game went out. Really interested to see what you guys will be thinking, thoughts, feelings, and all the rest of it in the live chat when you get here. I'm kind of saying this, there's only maybe about half a dozen of you here, 50 of you already on nice and live with us already. So I'll probably recap what we're going to get up to. We won't be on for too long because my voice is tested, let's say, and it's been a great day. I wasn't at the game. Now, normally when I'm at the game, I lose my voice because I'm just one of those guys. I just sing like mad, don't I? But for this one, I was actually invited again back with the Axon boys, and I'll show you this in case you've missed it on my timeline.
That's the ultimate pressure. And it weighs on the shoulder of David Maeda to win the Premier Sports Cup for Celtic. History beckons right here. It's Maeda!
Over man. The place went mental. The stage and everything. Seriously, couldn't recommend that enough, honestly, guys. I had a great time at Barra's Art and Design Bad with the Axon guys. If you can't go to a game, these events are definitely second best, depending on if you've got a CSC close by or a pal's house where you can get up to whatever you want to get up to. But I had a great time there, and subsequently losing my voice for shouting. There was a bit of singing. We had some great live music and all that good stuff there as well. But then getting out of Merchant City, the Barras, to the train station, to the trains getting cancelled, and yada, all the rest of it took me forever. I can see the comments are flying in, guys. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just trying my best to let's set the stream up for everyone that is joining us live and loud, and to anyone that's watching us after we've been live. This bump to you. Thanks for supporting the channel. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more content like this. We'll be live tonight for a little bit. We'll talk about the game. You just can let me know your thoughts and feelings at the moment. I've only watched it back once. I've heard from the manager with the Premier Sports crew like Lennon and Michael Stewart and whatever. And I thought, you know what would be good fun for this tonight is to put a wee bit of Big Phil up. Now, normally on this channel, we don't really delve into the what are they up to, but nice like tonight, it's definitely a good one for rubbing salt in the wounds. And honestly, see, when I seen this when I was at the train station, and I thought, jumping Jesus, by the way.
Creating more chances than the opponent, coming back in a good way.
Talk about desperado, talk about clutching at straws. I can't believe the Czerny situation, and everyone thinks that this wasn't looked at. Of course they looked at it. They probably looked at it as often as they could, as quick as they could. And, you know.
And then losing with penalties at the end.
So I thought maybe we'll hit the timeline, get some of the banter on the go with some of the stuff from their mob that's coming out. SSM, good to see you, my man. Tommy Burns, my man in the house. Good to see it. Strange Love the Doctor, as always. Love to see it. League Cup achieved. And I was saying that to the guys when we were in the Barras, was like, or it was the Sky Sports were in the house as well, which was great. They asked me a few questions, and I said to them, oh, no. It was when we were on stage. I beg your pardon. Brendan was very clear pre-season, you know, like we want to win a treble this year. Yes, the Champions League progression and all the rest of it was definitely on the agenda, definitely on the target board, as it were. But make no mistake about it, domestically, dominance treble was 100% on the agenda for this season. And yeah, it's achieved already at the first one. Mark, good to see you, mate. If any are joining us live, get into the live chat. I want to hear your thoughts and feelings, your takeaways on the game. Because as I set up the board to do the video for, I'll record it tomorrow, but I'll kind of have it mainly scripted after tonight. And maybe with some of your thoughts and feelings will come into it as well, guys. But it was a game that, like really it was the worst version of them in terms of for us to deal with that turned up. They actually kept their confidence. They actually stuck in deep. And, like this Igamani who was getting compared to Drogba by this tube before the game. Yeah, I wasn't really too worried about him throughout the match. He didn't really cause as much bother. But to be fair to them, like they had a pretty sweet plan on how to try and win the ball with Hadji and Bajrami. Like they two were given a lot of license to kind of be together. And as soon as we made a sloppy pass or as soon as there was a bit of space, like they were just breaking together, And then when Czerny was kind of hanging out here for support, Igamani through the middle, it just causes the sort of threats that they could on paper, but never really actually bring it to the party, So credit where it's due to the game plan that they brought because it was definitely effective. There's no getting away from it. I did think, but with both of their goals, both of them were like second balls from corners and stuff like that, and it just those things are very, very avoidable. I'm going to go get SofaScore. We don't have Sorare scores to look at because the League Cup isn't covered, but we've got SofaScore here, so we can kind of see how the game panned out or whatever. Big Phil must stay. Joe Gerrard, you can see that he played a good game, didn't he? Definitely should stay. Eamon McGovern, even all games, we find a way to win again. And like it was weird, right? Because I'm 36, right? So I've seen enough games like early millennium. I know we mainly dominated the leagues and stuff, but there was a lot of cup games that were sore. You know what I mean? Guys like Daniel Kuzans and Contermans and Arveladzis and there was all sorts of being there to break the hearts before, and it felt like when that first goal went in, it was just a pure Rangers goal, wasn't it? Spawny against the run of play and just maybe takes a wee bit of the wind out the sails. Great shout here from the Celtic Magician. Shout out to Engels, the lad definitely was feeling the pressure, but him scoring might light a fire under him mentally. And I do think that, when he came into the second half, like, I'm really jury's out still with Engels. And what I mean by that is, who is he? What is he? What does he do good? What is his best game? Because we've seen him in Champions League and domestically play in all three of the midfield spots that we have in the squad, really. And, some people say, oh, he's, like at me for one, like he doesn't do the Hatate job of supporting the strikers. If you're thinking about what our attacking midfielder looks like at the moment, he doesn't do that well enough. That's those games when he has been put there that he's went missing. We've not been able to connect him. We've not been able to get much of a tune out of him. And like even in this game, maybe seen it a bit in the last couple of matches as well. Defensively, like, yeah, he's not a pushover. He's a big guy, knows how to tackle. He's quite calm most of the time, but you definitely would call him a centre mid. So it kind of falls into that category that I feel that Big Paul Bernardo was falling into when he first came to the club, that it wasn't really, this is his seasonal heat map, takes a lot of set pieces, obviously, but Bernardo isn't a defensive mid, and he's not an attacking mid either, So, but what Bernardo's managed to carve himself in this squad here is a nice little spot where he is like, he's kind of like McGregor's bodyguard now, So what we've seen in this match for the most part out of Bernardo is he wouldn't be too far out wide. Normally when we're dominating games, which we didn't dominate this game, of course, but we did still try to knit the pattern together. But normally what we like to try and do is we like to try and have Engels, his predecessor, Bernardo, whatever, out here, Rio up here with the forward for some extra pressure, inverted full back comes into midfield. That's the way we like to kind of try and build, right? But Bernardo, and it maybe made it a bit tougher for us to, and Brendan's comments on why he brought on Scales at halftime, we'll talk about that in a second, maybe lends you into a bit of this, right? But when Bernardo has been a bit more narrow, a bit tighter to McGregor, to give that cover in case McGregor's still got the freedom of the pitch. He can go anywhere, do whatever he wants. Bernardo's going to kind of bodyguard him. He's going to mind him. But even when we were building up play, because we've got these three guys kind of occupying this position here, we did struggle to like move through the pitch, especially as a team. There was no problem for us, whether we were building up from the back, whether it was coming into Taylor in inverted fullback or whatever. We had no problem like pinging the ball out to Kuhn when he was by himself, or we had no problem trying to play the ball to like Hatate here by himself or out to Maeda. And the difference in the first half, or for large periods of this match, is a lot of the things that we did, or we were trying to do, was on an individual basis. You know, we're trying to put Kuhn on the ball and try and do something, take a guy or two on, make something happen. We're trying to, you know, get Bernardo to turn the ball over, maybe drive and then play an Alistair Johnson. We're asking for a lot of individuals to really step up. And I think that's where the individual mistakes come out of this game, because there's so much pressure on the individual to make best out of the situation. With Rangers, it was kind of the opposite, where nothing for them was individual. Like, really, like, I could tell you what some of these guys did because I watched the game, obviously, right? But there was no, like, individual, like, cheat code or rule breaker or anything like that, wild card element. It was very much a very good team effort, where because Hadji was supposed to be out in this position here, he was just coming in, and either Bajrami and Cherny would double up on this side of the pitch because Hadji had narrowed in, or if the ball was on the left-hand side, Bajrami had the license to come out here and double up on this side with them. So they were making sure no matter where they went, if it was in the middle, Raskin and Diamande were always close to each other. They made sure they went everywhere in pairs, you know, and it made it hard to really play through. There's some great comments coming in. Paulo Bernardo, the box-to-box. He is right, but I think that the box-to-box thing, there's lots of chat coming in, guys. I might have missed a bit of it. I'll try my best to keep up. But the box-to-box thing, I think, kind of is a bit of a broad stroke, right? Because let's just say Bernardo and Engels are both box-to-box. They're rather different, aren't they? I would say McGregor is very box-to-box. I would say Hatate is very box-to-box. And that's because you'll see Hatate here, and you will see Hatate here. They go from this box to that box. Whereas when we're saying box to box, maybe in this context, it's more that you'll see Bernardo here and you'll see Bernardo here. Same with Engels. So it's like they go from one box to another. Whereas like McGregor, maybe not quite up here that often, right? But he will be back here and he will get up here. Hatate very much is, you'll find him in here and you'll find him in here. So it kind of really depends on what the terminology of, or the definition of it is. But yeah, I suppose you could classify him as box to box. But if we are then if we are playing Bernardo in this position here and it's developing into that kind of bodyguard role next to McGregor, it puts more pressure on Hatate in the forward spaces, of course. But I think if you put Engels into this, it's maybe like nerfing him a little bit, because although I don't think that he can do what Hatate is doing up here, like some of Engels' best moments in this game and in some previous matches, like he's in this position here and he can slice a ball. He's actually got quite a good final third presence, you know, without being definitively like a maverick or a playmaker as such, you know. So I kind of find it hard to quantify that. But yeah, good shout out to Engels from the Celtic Magician here. I love to see it. To me, it shows we need reinforcements in the key areas. I do think the bench, Xander P, love it. Good to see you. They played the long ball all match. Yeah, it was kind of long ball and counter press, you know. So like if they were winning the ball and then attacking us, it was, you know, they were counter pressing us, and it was in packs. You know, we've seen it for the 4v1 where Vickers has had to, you know, recover against, you know, the hordes of Mordor, as it felt like at the time. You know, was it these four losers? And you know, there was long ball at times, of course, but if it wasn't long ball, it was snatch and run into the spaces, because even when they were like doing this, they were trying to, Bajrami was central, wasn't he? Hadji was here. Whenever we were like, so we were trying to build up the play quite a lot, even still in this game. And when you've got Vickers, Trusty, and then Taylor sitting in front of them, we are still trying to do the same thing that we do to every team, where we want to build the web. You know, we want all the players exactly where we want them. And we're going to move the ball from left to right, and we're going to make you harry and hassle and shuffle over. And then eventually we'll find a little gap and we're going to kill you. We'll take advantage of it. That's what we set up to do in this. And Rangers read it like a book for a lot of this game, where they would just retreat. They would just get into their own half. Diamande and Raskin would be holding hands. Bajrami and Hadji had license to go wherever they wanted. Cherny would be out here. Igamani would be close to the front line. And they're just poised. They're just waiting for a pass to go across a dangerous area where they can take it, or a bad pass is kind of in this area here and they can just snap in. You know, Taylor's bad pass for the goal, where he plays it across goal, as it were. If you can imagine, the face of the goal has two big lines up here, but maybe a little bit deeper for that one. But when he plays it across ball like that, that is sacrilege, in football. Kasper Schmeichel was like out here at one point and played up across the face of goal to Carter Vickers on the outside of the box, and I had my heart in my mouth at that one. But yeah, there's a lot of long ball from them. You're definitely right. My thoughts are a bit jumbled, but same as me, mate. I'm trying to work through them a little bit with you guys tonight, and I'll have them condensed and refined and distilled out for tomorrow, and we'll crack the board out a little bit better. But that was I don't think they played well, but I do come out of the game giving them credit for like doing something a bit different. They actually scored. The first goal was spawny as fuck. The Diamande goal, okay, but the Danilo goal, the Danilo goal and the Diamande goal are both second balls from corners. We have to do much better at defending that. But like, if we scored them, I'd be quite chuffed. Decent ball, decent enough finish. So yeah, credit where it's due. In a lot of ways, I felt like an old school final. I felt like an old school derby in a lot of ways. I think it's quite easy to be warming to him, Dom. I get that because he's not showing a distinct characteristic yet. So I get that. I think it's dead easy to be patient with him, but because he's shown plenty of promise without there being like he's that type of player, or he fixes this problem, or he makes that better. Well, that's still kind of yet to be seen. Yeah, he did have an assist today as well for the Kuhn goal. Very good cutback. First half too slow, not enough movement. Yeah, I'm with you on that. AJSC, good to see you. Guten Abend. When played at the top end of their limits, expectations, and capabilities, I would definitely echo that. But they have no overall control. They haven't found the secret sauce. Yeah, I would probably agree with that. I'd probably agree with that for the most part. I think that's the quality of their team overall is what lets them down. Like this guy Hefty, Raskin is like, remember when he signed for them? He's like, I want to play for Chelsea. When he signed for them. But like Hefty, I thought Proper would be good in this league. I thought he was. I think he's been pretty mince whenever I've seen him. And Balogun couldn't get a game in League One when he left Rangers the last time. And then Serial out here, like, he's got a good pass. You can't deny that, but not really a right back, is he? So he's kind of like a square peg that's not got a hole. He's just kind of out here all the time. And he was like avoiding Dyson like the plague. He wanted Cherny, he wanted Diamande, he wanted Balogun, he wanted all these guys to try and deal with Dyson, who, by the way, if he wasn't already in Celtic folklore after tonight, he fucking is now. I'll tell you that for free. And yeah, that's true as well. Like Rushinsky or Rushjinky, sorry, it is. Yeah, he's it's like a whole new role. I'm with you there. Yeah, love that. Love that. A rich man, Steve Turnbull. No, I don't go along with that. I do not go along with that, Macaroon. I'm sorry. In my opinion, they played the chaotic nature of football in the first hour. Eventually, we got to grips with it. William O'Toole, you're singing a good song here, mate. What was the change at halftime? I know it was scales, right? But what was really the change at halftime is it felt like we were just going quicker. We were actually moving through the pitch because when we were letting them poise, we were letting them get poised, get set. We then would wait and like try and put Taylor here. Can we put McGregor there? Let's put the centre backs where we want them. Let's put this guy here. And we're trying to build the web. It feels like second half, there was no fucking about. It was get the ball, play it to Bernardo, play it to Kyogo, play it into feet, play it who you can see, play the open passing lane and go forward. And in terms of, like their first goal is pure chaos ball, isn't it? Just pure chance. I'm not too sure about that, Dom. I don't think it was a penalty. We brought up the quote from Voldemort earlier on. I wonder if we can find the image because there's an image. Oh, I think it was a Daily Ranger that put it out.
There's a casino game at that moment.
But
also,
I think it was the Record that put it out, right? So this is why some people might think it's a penalty. And I know if it's on the line, it's a penalty. And all that caper, right? Yeah. See this image? This image is before Scales grabs him. And this is before he moves. Can we zoom in on this? Maybe I'll need to. What buttons is it? Presses that happen? No, crap. I'm pressing the wrong shortcuts. Is it Control Alt S? Oh, crap. I've got a little shortcut here for Screen grab. No, that's voice control. We don't want that. And I just do it normally without thinking. And then there we go. And then as soon as I go to think, there we go. I've got it snipped. Save. Or actually, I don't need to save that. Can I just open this window maybe? Present, share. Let's just do entire screen because I can do that easy. Boom. Right, sorted. So if you look at this, right, this is before Scales actually grabs him. Okay, where's the zoom? Where is the zoom? Oh, there we go. Oh, I had zoom a second ago. Try this button, and then yeah, there's a zoom there. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. 2 seconds. Let's zoom in again. Now, I know his foot is here on the line. Scales is about to grab him when this foot is no longer on the line. The ball is very clearly not in the box. 2 seconds. There we go. So it's not a penalty for me. And I think this image and then and then putting this image out is very misleading because like I've got a wee paint dot there, sorry about that. But then putting that image out, like what is the next frame? The next frame is Scales grabbing his shorts, probably. Zoom in, zoom in. We've lost all the zooms, sorry guys. And he is like just on the line now, you know, so I don't think we got away with anything. It was a free kick. The ref awarded it a free kick. The ref deemed it a foul. And you know as well as I do, they were in that room drawing fucking lines and trying to work out if they could give the penalty for it. So I don't subscribe to the whole that they were robbed a penalty or they should have got a penalty or we got lucky they didn't get a penalty. We maybe did get lucky that we didn't concede the penalty, right? Because normally that shit just goes their way, you know, whether we like it or not. And yeah, there was definitely, I'm with you there, JC. There was definitely shades of Bruges and Zagreb in this one. Who can man the match? I have got no idea. I have got no idea. Do we have a man of the match listed here? I don't think so. Oh, we're on Engels, that's why, rather than the match. Did we get... yeah, I don't think so. Maybe Schmeichel? Schmeichel made some good saves, by the way. I know Diamande, like the lovely save he made from Diamande is then kind of wasted because the corner that follows on from that, the second ball, is in the goal. But no, I don't think there's not one here, certainly. Maybe need to check socials to see who the man of the match was. Carl Vickers had a great game. Yeah, one man against the Hordes of Mordor. They got their annual moral victory. Yeah, great chat coming in, guys. Hail to you all. Of course, there's a bunch of you firing in. If they could have gave a pen, they would have. Yeah, totally. And if they gave the pen, would they have reversed it? The monitor wasn't working. Yeah, exactly. He pulls his shirt. It was close for the second one. I think the second one, like, we're unlucky that we were fouled in the action before that because it probably was a penalty. Somebody stepped on his toes, wasn't it? But Carter Vickers got injured, fouled in the action before that. So I think that's what saved us on that one. Exquisite pass from Engels to the third goal. Yeah, I'm with you all the way on that. Big Casper was man of the match. That's beautiful. That was beautiful. That image is when Scales let him go. Oh, is it? Is it? Yeah, fair enough. I'd be very surprised if this is when he's let him go. If you're telling me that, but Kaiser, I will bow to your insight on this one. But that feels Why wouldn't they show a picture of him then holding him? Like if they could go back one frame with him holding him, 1 foot on the line, I think we would see that picture, you know? So, yeah. Oh, buzzing, guys, buzzing. What do we think? I think Ralston, sorry, 2 seconds. The subs were a big point of contention in this one. I think the Scales half-time one surprised me. Like, I was really surprised. I didn't think Brendan was going to make a half-time change in this one. I thought Scales was a great sub. I didn't see it coming. I thought if he was going to make a change, we might have seen Ida come in, right? But you heard it from Brendan after the game, and I was sitting next to Paul John. Sorry, that's not how you spell Scaldini. Sorry. And it's one thing we've been quite vermin on in this channel repeatedly is like Scales has deficiencies. He is not perfect, right? But the number one thing that we've always maintained on this channel is buying someone markedly better than Scales that puts him on the bench and he doesn't come back would be very expensive. You're asking for a top player because 1v1s like, and I know for that thing he's kind of, the band's got away from him and he's had to kind of pull his shorts or whatever, right? But 1v1, very few players I have seen, and he's played Champions League now a little bit, you know, so very few players I see get anything out of Scales. And yeah, maybe sometimes he doesn't look after the ball perfectly. Maybe sometimes he's under pressure, he'll give away that throw in, or he'll just put it up here and no one gets on the end of it. But the number one thing you get from Scales is he will just take yards. He will just move up the pitch with the ball. He has no fear. Trusty, like, see if you can get Trusty into, let's just put Taylor over here. If you can get Trusty into these zones here, I think he's better than Scales. Not only because he can recover if the ball gets turned over, but like his short passing is a bit spicier, you know. So I like it when we can work it and we can get Trusty into this position as a kind of false left back almost, you know, because of the way the play goes. But Trusty and Vickers, like neither one of them. And Vickers actually did it in this game once or twice. Vickers actually ended up here once, maybe twice. Very uncharacteristic of him. But between Trusty and Vickers, none of them want to get the ball and carry it. They want to give it to a dead easy pass to someone else. But the problem is then these guys will then get their back to play, or they're having to be on the half turn, mate. They might lose the ball, etc., etc. But Scales having that bravery, composure, I don't know how you want to think of it, to just, rather than being here and just give it to Vickers or being here and send it out to Taylor, he'll come up to here. And then all of a sudden, someone might need to confront him. Somebody else gets into a better position. There's a gap opens up for somebody else, maybe. And it just causes some stuff. One thing I love about Scales as well when he does play is he doesn't mind a long diag. He went for 1 or 2 in this game and they were wildly off the mark, you know. But he had a beautiful one a week or 2 ago. He got a lovely assist. So I definitely wouldn't discourage him from that. And honestly, Brendan Rodgers does not fucking miss. Like the amount of, how many games this season has he changed it at halftime, even without making a sub, where you can just see tactically there's a tweak that happens. Maybe it's like Bernardo or Engels gets tighter to McGregor, or Hatate just wakes up, or, you know, it could be a number of things. We've seen it all season long. Brendan affects football matches. He wins us stuff from the bench. Of that, there is no question for me. And Scales at halftime, masterstroke, genius. I would have thought Kyogo for Ida would have been the move, because Balogun on the yellow, Hefty on the yellow as well. I'm sure there was 2 of them booked at halftime, or in the first half, sorry. I thought, you know, having a guy like him that will just rough these guys up a wee bit. And, like, I love Kyogo, right? But another game where he's done nothing. Like, nothing. And see the stuff that Ida does. Like, how is Kyogo not doing that? Ida does stuff that he doesn't even need to be strong for. Like, he'll drop into this pocket here. No one will be shoulder to shoulder with him. Somebody might be tracking him, but no one's like getting tight to him and like trying to make it a test of strength. And then he'll like pop one off and then he'll run a channel and then get it back. Kyogo, Never does this. And I don't know if it's his instructions, his style of play, or whatever, but honestly, the wee man he's treading water. Like, he really is. Like, he's not scored. He's not scoring. He's not scored. He doesn't build up play. He doesn't seem to want to or be able to. Can't quite figure out what it is. And wee Dyson is coming in clutch, so a lot of pressure on the wee man. I was a wee bit disappointed for him. Like, sad he didn't get a goal or sad he didn't make his, because he's normally a huge player in finals and in derbies. So I was I felt sorry for him. I felt bad for him. Guys, the chat is flying away. I can't keep up all the messages. I'm really sorry. But Ralston did lose his man for the goal. Chill Pill, I'm with you on that one. I think like Ralston guarantees you a 6 out of 10. And if you get a good game out of Ralston, it's 7 or 8. And that's kind of the ceiling and the floor. Maybe today, would you say he was a 6? Maybe you'd give him a 5 because of that kind of error. But even that aside, the big man went up and down the line, didn't pull any punches, get smashed in the face, kept going. And you know that he just gives everything out there. And in the right situation, I've got no problems with Ralston. We maybe brought him into this match a little bit early because when he came on with Engels. And for me, that was the point where if Rodgers made one mistake today, it was when he took off Bernardo. So I just think at that stage of the game, let's go and actually check it. It was like the 70th minute. Let's refresh our memory. Let's see. So let's see. Scales at halftime. So at this point, we've just went 2-1 up. And then we take off the guy who is in about it like a dog eating beetroot, Paul Bernardo, getting in amongst it, stopping them doing stuff, turning the ball over for Engels, who I think we all know he's not that guy as well. So it just felt like we left the door open for them by making that substitution. I think someone said it very early on that it's clear in this game the reinforcements we need to make. Like, if we had a Wata in the squad, for example, like he comes on for Bernardo at that point, and not that you want to make it defensive or whatever, but you want to maintain the quality that Bernardo is adding into the game. Love that one. I don't know about Valley. I'm still quite jury's out on Valley. I'm still quite jury's out on Valley. I like him. He's got strengths that are Taylor's weaknesses. Ralston's man was behind him. Yeah. That's what I thought, Mark. Now, I kind of have struggled to believe that we will get a fully functional, established midfield of McGregor, Bernardo, and Engels because it's too slow. But in that game, I could have seen it. Quite good that Hatate stayed on because Hatate got better as the game went on, I think. Yeah, Valley didn't do much. Yeah, I didn't see much from him today. I still need to see everything back. So you guys are talking about faults for goals and wrong man, wrong side of the man and that kind of thing. I'm definitely not. Oh, wow. Nicholas McDade called the Scaldini halftime sub, mate. Fucking well done to you, by the way, mate. Yeah, he had a full redemption arc in this one. Lucky deflection with the goal, but you've got to do it. I don't know. I think it's pace, like, and it's not necessarily pace. Like John Delaney's asking here on last point, but why does Brenda insist on Hatate? And it's kind of what I was touching on a minute ago with that box to box nature of him. It's not that he's lightning quick on the wing and he's going to like break away into space or whatever, but if he's up here like trying to do something and the ball gets turned over, you can rely on him to get into a really good spot quite quickly. And if he's in one of these spots here, if we're defending, you can really rely on him to keep up with the play and get forward. So as I'm saying, I think Engels, Bernardo, McGregor. I think to do that, the best way to do that would be to have Engels and Bernardo like this and let McGregor just be fucking free to play football. Just McGregor, you do what you want, pal. We need you over here, go over there. You want to get some space in the pocket here, go and do it. And just give him some reassurance where Engels could support him, but Bernardo's got to be keeping the door closed. That for me is like, I've said in Europe, McGregor with one of them in that double pivot situation is maybe like the final form of this Rodgers team. But depending on the evolution of Hatate, Engels, Bernardo, it could be that it's double base, double pivot, base, Bernardo, Engels, and then you give McGregor that license to be the playmaker. AJ's definitely been struggling, hasn't he? He's been nursing some stuff. I thought the same about Kuhn as well. He's been kind of in and out. Yeah, got way better towards the end of the game. It's not necessarily about, I hope anyone doesn't think I'm like pining for a Wata or whatever, but just being that type of guy. He was ruining his career staying at us because he wasn't getting minutes. I think we can all see that. I think Bernardo hasn't got 90 minutes in him at that level. I think that's the number one thing, because I think if he could have kept Bernardo on, he would have. And I'm saying when he's taking him off, for me was a wee bit of bringing him and Ralston on, because they're both on this side of the pitch. And by the way, there was a minute, you'll all remember it, where they were all back heeling to each other, and it was like watching Prime Brazil for about 2 seconds until we got to this spot here. I think it was actually Ralston that got to this spot and shanked it. But there was one or two little sequences of play on the right-hand side that actually looked pretty good. But they were focusing everything first half down the left, if they could double up with the Bajrami and the Cherny and whatever. But see, when Ralston came on and Bernardo left, you definitely felt Hadji. How long did Bajrami get? He got about another 15 minutes before Danilo came on. And you really did feel Danilo's presence in the game, didn't you? I just felt that they sniffed that there was some spaces out here. And then they started going down this side of the pitch more often. And it put more pressure on Ralston. It puts a lot of pressure on Engels. And yeah, Kuhn got the way to the 105th minute. So Kuhn as well. So, yeah, Serial and Hefty, Pish fullbacks, Pish centre-back, goalkeeper no one really believes in. The rest of the players I thought were halfway okay. Raskin aside, he was pretty pish. Diamande was okay. The front four did a good job. Like, they did their job. Fair play to them on that. But golfing quality. Yeah, I think Big Casper. Murphy, why the hell is your name Hulk Banger? I want to know the answer to that. Hope it's Stephen. Good to see you, mate. Murphy, hail, mate. Hatate is dead on his feet at the end of the game. But he went all the way through fucking extra time. He kept going, didn't he? Couldn't he walk at the end of the game? I don't know if you've seen him limping about. He really, really seized up. But Hatate went through that period of being the 60-minute man under Ange. 60, 65, Hatate's off. Play every game, always off at 60. And under Rodgers, last season into this season, we see Rio getting to 70 to 80 to 90 more often. And now it's more that Rodgers can pull him off. I think that's been an important part of his development. And it's probably going to be a very important part of Engels and Bernardo's development, is being 90-minute capable at that level. Now, maybe Hatate isn't quite at that level for the 90 minutes, because I think today you could argue his last half of the match was better than his first half of the match. Yeah, and Dyson, did Dyson play football today? You wouldn't know it looking at him. And yeah, Ralston, I can see him being a bit tender towards the end. And the psychological blow is massive in this one, because it was what I was saying before the game. Although had more nerves going into this game than I have in the last couple of matches, it's better that way, because when we beat them, their optimism is shattered, and it's not just the loss on the pitch, but it's a psychological loss, and it's the loss on the terraces, and it's another treble, and it's a trophy, and it's just compounds on top of itself, We had Sky Sports at the Axom thing I was at today, and they were telling Paul John that they just came from Ibrox, and they were all brimming with confidence, saying it was their day and all the rest of it. So that just set it up beautifully. Brilliant. Let them be hopeful. Take it from them. Yeah, and there's room. Like, listen, see if Taylor doesn't sign a new contract, he's going to be a midfielder wherever he plays next, because no one's scouting him saying, "Oh, that's the left back for us." But you could see him being a wee Callum McGregor for someone like in the MLS, or I don't know. The thing with Taylor moving abroad is I can't see him going to Italy at this stage in his career. So if he was to go abroad or leave Scotland, let's say, it's probably English Championship. It's probably MLS. he could very easily go to somewhere like Holland or Portugal and do very well. But who takes him? Who's interested in a player like Taylor? He spoke to me. Are you confident Rangers were going to do something today? Yeah, it was tons and tons of bother today, by the way, guys. The trains were a nightmare for me getting back. I think that venue is like a meat locker, Quinny. You think so? I liked it. It's very good. We're very warm. It's not cold or anything. Lovely big screen. Great. Oh my God, the food is amazing, by the way. And yeah, the shopping list, like if Brendan needed to confirm with Paul Timsdale, I'm sticking with that name. I don't care what anyone says. And the crew, they got a lot of answers in this game. So I think there'll probably be a lot of work underway, as it were. We would be wise to take this game as a warning. Yeah, like I definitely think that's, we're still better than them. We're still ahead of them. We still won this game. We still really shone through. But we're unlucky. Like, we should have won it at 3-2. Like, the last goal, like, the 3-3 goal was an absolute sucker punch and a half. The first goal was pish as well. So we were very much better than them over the 90 for me. No two ways about it. But, like, the worry with this kind of thing going by is that we don't buy anyone. We don't strengthen. We think, it's cool. We've got it in the bag. Like, like the biscuit tin ship, the Ronnie Dyla years and whatever, where it's just like, the team's fine enough. Keep going, get them better, train them harder. But I don't think this team, this club, this organization that we now have there at the club will look at that game and think that, at all. Yeah, like that kind of, I could easily see that happening. He could go to a number of clubs, be the main guy, be the leader, maybe be a captain or something. And they speak English. You can live a fucking pretty good life there if you want. So, like, yeah. So where does he go? He's not going to go anywhere in Scotland. He's not going to the Premier League. A championship club would probably take him, but I don't think it would be like, oh, fantastic, we've got Greg Taylor. Here's all this money, pal. I do. I have got a few, mate. I've done a few videos on them already. My targets haven't really changed too much. We did some videos in the last international break, kind of targeting some players, but I'd like to see Kai Wagner. I don't know if that move is actually happened yet. So Kai Wagner's on left back. It's buyout. Let me put transfer. He's definitely moving in January. He's probably going to go to England, but now we've missed the boat. But his buyout's £2 million. Is it here? Yeah. So this came out 2nd of December. And I would have thought, the guys at Celtic maybe know better than me on this one because they've got access to some different stats and all the rest of it. But £2 million for a guy like this, won the league over there, German, you know what I mean? And 27 years old, very, very good, very prolific fullback. I'd have liked him. Do we buy Shankland? No. I'm all right. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Strange love. Like, they were good. Like, there's positives they can take out of the game. Make no mistake about it. Yeah, that's kind of a part of it as well, isn't it? New family on the way and stuff. Now, the Kvitsgarden, like, the thing about Kvitsgarden that I'm always hesitant on, right, is this guy is, let me just find Bromby. That might be easier. Brondby. Or Bromby. Maybe it's one of those funny O's, so it'll be hard to find. Let's just look for Daniel Wass. There we go. It is Brondby. It's one of those funny O's. That's why I couldn't find it. The thing with this Kvitsgarden guy, didn't play the last match. Didn't play the match before. Played the match before. There we go. The thing that I always find with this guy, see, every time I look at him, he just gets like form. You know what I mean? And we're linked to him. Like, a wee bit of this is decent here, right? This is over like a couple of months, prolonged period of the season, right? That's good. But see, the first time we were linked to him, it was like, can you see this over here? It was like 3 good games. This is when we got linked to him the last time, and it was like he scored 9 goals this season. It's like, in 3 matches, but you know what I mean? It wasn't like it It wasn't like he was like light in the. Was it even this period? It might have been just after this because it was like a wee period where it was this period here where he's did like what's that 6 goals and a couple of assists over this period here, and then after that, maybe it wasn't that. I think it was this period here because it was like derelict thereafter, whereas that was not quite too bad. This is a pretty good run he got on thereafter. But yeah, like these games here, and then it was like nothing for ages, 1 goal. And you look at the dates here when it's the new season and the old season as well, and then off the bench all the time, doing nothing, a bit injured, and then boom, punches and bunches. So that's the thing I'm always worried about him. He's got a lot of injuries here, as you can see. He's missed it. You know, how many periods out has he got here? 1, 2, over the last 2 seasons. So I don't know. I'm just always a bit worried about guys like this that, you know, they're just a form player. Maybe they just like pop on the scout radar at the wrong time. I don't mind I don't mind Johnny Kenny coming back at all. I don't mind that. Don't mind that at all. AJ's like not fit, not 100% fit. Anyway, Balikwisha is just returned. Actually, I meant to kind of keep tabs on that. He made his return from injury last week, I think it was. Yeah. He played this weekend? No, he didn't. Interesting. So hard to read into that one too much. So this is what I'm worried about. We'll probably end the show on this, guys. We've been live for an hour or 45 minutes. And we're getting off topic a wee bit, but we'll be back tomorrow with a refined breakdown of the game. We'll talk about some of the finer points that we chewed on tonight. I'll review the game and come back a bit more organised. But this is the worry I've got, is that the last champ, we were speaking about this on Axon last week, but the Champions League last match is the 29th of January, or the 28th or something like that, isn't it? And the deadline's obviously at the end of the month. But the registration window is until the 6th of February. So there may be some loans or whatever. But I've got a feeling. Let's just look at Schmeichel. Where's that Villa game? Oh, it's game weeks rather than dates because it's next year. 22nd. Sorry, 22nd. Kane, thanks very much. So my worry is it's going to be like, remember when we used to have to qualify for the Champions League proper before we would spend any money? We'd have to play fucking home and away Beersheva, home and away Molde, home and away fucking Maribor. We'd have to do all that pish. And then if we won all that, then we would spend money. I'm worried that that's a tactic that happens in January and we wait for the young boys game at least, if not all the way to the Aston Villa game before they go, right, we're definitely going to get paid. So let's spend a bit. That's what I'm worried about. I really do hope the window opens and there doesn't need to be 2, 3, 4 signings, but one move is quite quick because like the depth we've got in the wings is, somebody mentioned it before, Yang and Palma are not the answer. I think Palma, I think Yang can be developed. Yang has more to give. That's what I was digging at, Quinny. Was it the Balikwisha comment, sorry? Or you're talking the leaving it to the last minute, Kaiser? We're drinking the same tea again, aren't we? Even they won the coin toss to have it at their end, and then they got to take the first penalty. I thought that's a bad omen. I actually was worried when McGregor, Engels, and Tatati, when all 3 of them stood up for penalties. I was worried they were missing. I don't know, I was just shitting myself. Yeah, we're on the same page. You can only change 3. Yeah, so you can only like remove 3 and add 3, or if you have 3 spaces, add 3 guys in or whatever. So you can't make wholesale changes, but there definitely should be some business underway that we can bring a winger in, you know, so that like today, like bringing Forrest on in the 105th minute, I don't think you would have taken Maeda or Kunov earlier because they were both quite good and, you know, there was more for them to give in the game. You know, they weren't bad or knackered or injured or booked or anything. But it's only Forrest. I know Palma was on the bench and whatever, but you're not throwing him on. You're not throwing yet. I would have gave Yang the 105th minute. I'd have gave him the last 15 minutes if you needed him. I don't mind Yang for that. High energy, direct, gets fouled. Like, he's great at getting fouled. Yeah, like I was worried when Engels stood up, but then I remembered Engels has taken about 5 penalties for us already, so yeah, he should be fine. So if they don't sign a winger, like as soon as the window opens, I will be disappointed. It doesn't need to be January 1st, right? I think we all know that, right? But essentially, like, don't wait for the young boys game. Don't wait for the Villa game. Just get a winger in, because Forrest is still great to come off the bench as winger 3, but Forrest should be really winger 4. When he signed his new contract under Ange, he was winger 5. You know what I mean? Remember those days? When we also had Jota and Abada and fucking somebody else in the mix as well. I'm losing my mind right now. JJ, at least you're keeping it clean, mate. You played a good game. You were unlucky. Where he's unlucky. I don't know if that's the right term, but he's played a good game. He's definitely did better than normal. He's had a proper. You can hear if you want to hear. I've already kind of said it, but nice to hear you're in here, and at least you're keeping it clean, mate. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Share it in your WhatsApp chats. And that's the thing about Palma. I said that. Oh Jesus, what game was it? Was it Bruges? I think it was Bruges. You can go and check the breakdown for it. I wanted Palma to come on because see if you need a guy to take a long shot. Palma's not that bad an option. I don't think today that was the sort of game, but the thing about the 11 million quid, Murphy, is like we all know, like, and again, it's a time old thing. He doesn't decide that, right? Number one, right? But number two, it's no your money. It's no my money. Now, yeah, we pay for match tickets and we buy kits and all that. It is our money. It's our club, right? Aye, fine. But if Celtic spend 11 million quid, it doesn't change my life. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm poorer for it, or ticket prices have went up, or this. Everyone's pretty fucking expensive anyway. So, like, I think as fans, like, England and a lot of places in Europe have been kind of used to these sums of money now where they can disassociate from it and just see it as like monopoly money. Cause it's football is monopoly money. Like, we're spending 11 million quid from them because we've just got 30 million quid of Premier League monopoly money, you know? And before that, we got 30 million petrodollars for Jota, you know? So football's just playing with fucking monopoly money. A lot of them. I don't know, that's not really the way it works, right? But Engels isn't worth 11 million quid. Like, if you had 11 million pound, you wouldn't buy Arne Engels and like make him your butler or your personal football coach or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you'd probably build a big fuck off house and buy a plane and a bunch of cars and all the rest of it. You know what I mean? It's just monopoly money. Tactically, Scales was deemed more attacking. Honestly, you're spot on. In terms of, we've kind of spoke about it a little bit already in terms of what he offered us from open play. But even from set pieces, like, Carter Vickers is not a threat. Trusty can be. Hasn't shown it really yet. Jan Cashing, maybe 8 or 10. Don't really know what that means. Yeah. CCV was brilliant. Murphy, I can't believe you've not got a stick, son. And Silverton without a fire stick. What are you playing at? And yeah, plenty of seasons ahead. Scales is like 25, I'm going to say. He was under 23 when he was at Aberdeen. Freaking hell, his Scales are there. He's there. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. You can't even see this guy. Sorry, I'll fix that. So Scales at the moment is 26. And Scales, like, look at this, right? We'll do this as the last exercise, right? Scales is 26. Celtic. Normally I get Champions League up here, but it's not. There we go. That's Champions League. So Scales, and he's had a few man of the matches here, by the way. Man of the match against Atletico, if memory serves me right. Man of the match against Feyenoord. Man of the match against Bratislava. Look at this. He's got, like, how many games are we looking at here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Champions League games under his belt. And centre backs, like, when is their prime? It's like 28 to 31. He's been doing brilliant for us. The progression's been unreal. I'm a big fan. Now we've got this on Champions League. So this is him at Aberdeen. His ratings out of 100. He scored that belter of a goal against them. It wasn't a cross. He definitely meant to shoot. But You know, he's came a long way. I think it's still so tough. Scales is the most valuable centre back, second most valuable defender at the club, because I said this, and some of you guys have been here on the channel for ages, right? So you'll know I've said this. He's got at least 2. He's maybe on 3. Trusty was off it, and I'm not a Trusty detractor. I like Trusty. He's proved me wrong in some ways. I was worried about him, to be honest with you. But okay, so what was I going to say there? I've lost my train of thought. Sorry. Oh yeah, Carter Vickers, when he signed that 5-year contract, for me that was a signal that whatever medically we just fixed for him and that surgery and all that. Remember Angie's season where he missed the final, but he played the semi-final. He is not going to pass a medical at a top-end club for a £25 million transfer. So he's signed, Vickers, this is, he's signed the peak years of his career to us because he knows that this is the best place for him to be in his peak. Winning trophies, playing in important matches, playing in the Champions League. Whereas Vickers, 26. And he signed that 5-year contract. He's up till 2029. That's 5 years from now. So he signed it earlier this year. He's going to be 31. We're not selling Vickers for anything at 31, maybe like £5 million or something. Alistair Johnson is the most valuable defender we have at the team. He's got the right age. He's got that international. He's very, like, Alistair Johnson could play in the Premier League for a number of teams on his current ability. You know, I love CCV, and I'm so happy he signed that contract because I'm like, finally, we've got a guy in the club that gets it. Before, guys like fucking Hooper and the list goes on, the guys that think, oh, I'll move to England, and maybe it's just the pay packet, right? They need to get paid. I get that. But so many of them think, like, this is just a step. I can go higher. I can go bigger. I can go better. And they can't. Some people can't. It's not nothing against Gary Hooper. But after he left us, like, did he even play in the Championship? He's retired mad early, ended up in Cyprus and shit as well, so I think they're getting much closer to Tierney money for Johnson, if I'm being honest. You see, back, Carter Vickers first set foot in the United States of America to be capped. You know what I mean? This guy like grew up in like London or something. His dad's American. So yeah, I get the thing, obviously, but he's not really American. He's like me. My dad's American. I am as American as Carter Vickers, like legitimately. Like my dad's American. I hope we don't. We're getting into a chat, guys. Hooper said he wanted to play for Barca. He wasn't lying. I'm sure he did want to play for Barca. Who's that we're talking about? AJ? Is AJ 27? He's also just signed a big deal, but so if he moves, it's for big money. I can see Johnson being here, but like wanting to be here is proper bought in. But he could be sold for a lot of money. So that's more, his contract's more of an insurance policy for the club for me than anything. You think Robbo's a no-no? I heard like Robbo's screwed me this weekend because he gets sent off, right? And I heard the sending off is bad. I've not went back to see it yet. But somebody said to me in the aftermath of it, just a group chat, I seen the messages coming in. They said, oh, his legs have gone. Look at this. Absolutely fucked me. Fraser Foster smashes it. Guardiola smashes it. Wirtz, captain, smashes it. Leroy Sané smashes it. Fucking Robbo, red card. For me, when it comes to the left back thing, all roads lead to Robbo. No two ways about it. Sign Jonathan David. Now, mate, if we sign Jonathan David, then fucking someone better check on the mental health of David Desmond, because that's going to be like 50 million quid for him. Thanks a lot, mate. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I would definitely take McGinn back home. Good game the weekend. Didn't win, obviously, but Champions League. And I don't know if you've known this, right? McGinn is like 1 year away from getting a testimonial at Aston Villa. Or something like that. Maybe his contract sets him up. I can't remember, but John McGinn is in testimonial territory. His contract's running out. Quinny, who are we talking about? Robbo's got like a year and a bit. So if we were to get him, 2026. if we were to buy him in the summer, it might not be that much. So it is possible, by the way. That is, like, we could spend 11 million on Robbo. No bother. 3-4 year contract, take him to retirement. Champions League, Premier League winner. I would not worry about that at all. You look a bit like Woody. But tonight, do I? Wrong button. Yeehaw. Maybe it's my voice, I don't know. But yeah, guys, I think just catching up with everything, guys. I don't know why you're clarifying that JD is from Canada. I kind of know that. I was just checking there's something else in the chat. Actually, on the Carter Vickers note, Jonathan David is actually born and bred in New York. He's like a Canadian mum or something. And like America are raging that they didn't find him. The Canadians found him first. Just a little side note, but hey, yeah, Jonathan David and Leo. If we young boys prediction, I think we smashed them. To be honest, I feel like I was saying this on the channel recently. I guess I'll kind of finish on this, but if we look at Jesus, where's the tab? Let's open this one. It's a bit easier. If you look at the Swiss League now, right? You can look at the Champions League and you can see where young boys are. Of course, they're fucking out. They won against Servette today, it looks like. But they are 9th, 23 points. And once they've played everyone twice, this league splits, right? So imagine this. They're in the Champions League. They are one of the top clubs traditionally in Switzerland. And they might be about to finish bottom half. So like the league is everything to them right now. Craig Finn. Or maybe it's Craig, I don't know. C Finn. Yeah, so like they're out the Champions League and they're in danger of wrecking next season. So like the seasons we score the first goal, they're done. You know, it'll be like Feyenoord. Feyenoord was kind of like that, where the game was. Maybe I've got a wrong recollection of Feyenoord. I'm quickly talking to you now. It's just because I had Scales there as man of the match, and not me, Craig. Good to know you're in the chat, Craigie boy. Fist bump, my man. Good to see you. But yeah, guys, I've kind of went on a few different tangents. Thanks for joining me. Sorry to have kept you. And yeah, stay tuned tomorrow. I'll kind of firm this up, the script and all that, and we'll have a wee breakdown on the tactics board tomorrow. Where I went right, where I went wrong, what Rodgers did to change the game. Thanks very much. A lot of great work, Craig, as well, putting in the hard yards, and Josh, who we have on the channel as well, of course. Yeah, the young boys could be a bit. They'll just be coming for a free hit. They'll be coming here as tourists. You know, like can we get a goal at Celtic Park? Can we get some morale out of this? You know, but if we score first, fucking Bob's your uncle. Game over. Pleasure was mine, Murphy boy. And I guess I started the stream with this video, so I'm going to leave you with this video because it's just good fun. Hail, hail! I'll see you tomorrow.